Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and as you can see, my Mini Cooper S is back in the air. If you remember in an earlier video, there's a really loud squeak on the passenger side when I turn the steering wheel, like this. So as you just heard, there's a really nasty squeak when I turn the wheel, and it's coming from this area. As we saw before, there's a pretty rusty ball joint on the lower end there, and I have a suspicion that that's what's causing the sound. So we're going to replace the lower ball joints on the passenger side and the driver's side, and hopefully that'll solve the issue. So let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is remove the wheels. It should be a lot easier than last time where the bolts were over tightened. If I'm not mistaken, they are 17s. Yep. I don't want the wheels to fall off when I undo them, so I'm going to get my alignment pins back. They're 12 by 1.5. There we go. There we go. That way it doesn't just fall out. And they weren't stuck on, which is awesome. All right, so let's get in here. Working down here. I have a suspicion that this here is rusty, crusty, and squeaky. So we're gonna start with this side. On the other side, it looks a little better, but really you can see in here, it's like really crusty, crumbly. So first step is to loosen the two bolts right here. So they are on either side of the arm right there. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I should start by loosening this nut. Oh, there's like rust on it too. So let's figure out what size these are. Yep, 14s. That's 18. Okay, cool. Let me get some earplugs. And I think we're actually gonna leave this flush here. I'm gonna get these off too. No, it's not 14. I'm gonna try to put some PB Blaster in here. See if that helps. I'll do that on the other side too. Let's use an adapter and use the big impact. There we go. No, it wasn't so bad once it broke free. Not so. There we go. Much better. Now I can separate the ball joint mount from the knuckle, and hopefully it'll just come free. Now let's see what we can do to get this off. Let's take a look at the replacement part. That might give us some ideas. I'm going to be installing this part, Delphi TC1155. It's the same on both sides. So as you can see, we've got our ball joint here. This one looks nice, and it comes out. It looks like it will stick out from the knuckle right up in here. So maybe if I can hit this, it'll help it get free. Maybe if I put some PB Blaster in here, could help. Since I was having trouble separating the ball joint from the knuckle, I decided to try to separate it from the control arm first. Whew. That's why I left the nut on. That is a 5. Okay. Move that out of the way. Now what we have to do is separate this from the rest. I turned the wheel and tried hammering in all sorts of different ways. After even more hammering, I tried some heat, which kind of set the rubber boot on the ball joint on fire, which wasn't great, but it also didn't help. Maybe heating it up longer would have worked, but the smell of burning rubber was not great. Keep setting the rubber on fire, which is very stinky. After even more hammering that I edited out, I decided to try to use a chisel to separate the ball joint from the knuckle. I felt like it was coming. Finally. Oh, horrible. Now we just have to take this back apart. That was difficult. Wow, unbelievable. Whew. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna brush in here, clean this out. I don't know when I'll have to do it again, but I'd rather make it a little bit easier to take off than it was this time. That was crazy. It's time to put things back together. I'll pull this down, drop in the new ball joint. You can see it's looks a bit different. See how squished this is compared to the new one. Now, does this mean we'll need an alignment? Maybe. Then I'm gonna actually put a little bit of anti-seize on this. That looks good. There we go. Got some new bolts right here. There's actually a kit from another brand that has Torx tips instead of hex bolts. I kind of like the hex bolt a little better. Some people like the Torx better. But if you had issues with rounding out, you know, I guess that's a valid reason to look at the Torx version. Okay, so this squish a bit. Now let's torque it to spec. All three are 56 Newton meters, which is 41 foot-pounds. So we're gonna get that started. There we go. That's done, great. Now I have to do the other side. Hopefully it'll go better, but I don't know. So let's get started. All right, we're gonna take a slightly different approach this time. We're gonna start with just the two bolts that retain it to the hub or knuckle, and then we'll bang this out if we can, and then we'll separate this. Hopefully that'll go better. Whew. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Let me turn the wheel. I was really hoping this would be easier. Ah, 50 minutes. 50 minutes! Oh. And now we have to undo this. Wow. If you're doing this job too, I hope it goes better for you. Bolt drill separator. Yeah! Oh. Okay. Ay, 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 ay. That was a lot. Oof. Same as before, we're gonna try to brush this out here. Just like before, I'm gonna put anti-seize on this. Drop it in here. Get this started right there. Get our two new bolts. They have Loctite pre-applied. Bolt started by hand if you can. Same as on the other side, 56 Newton meters, which is 41 pound-feet of torque. Yay! Wow, good work, team. Now it's time to get the wheel on. For the lug bolts, we're going to 120 Newton meters. All right, it's the moment of truth. Find out if it was the lower ball joint that was the issue, causing all that squeaking, or if we have more work to do. Fingers crossed. Let's see. It wasn't the ball joints. But at least we did them. That means that if we have to take stuff apart from there, it shouldn't be a problem, which is good. And we have fresh ball joints. So this requires a bit more investigation. So stay tuned for part 2 of who knows in fixing the squeak in my steering. Now, overall this job was quite hard for me. Everything I've seen in my research before this job suggests that it shouldn't be this bad. Sometimes you can just undo those 2 bolts, hit the lower control arm, and it'll just pop down. Hopefully that happens for you. But, you know, separating it little by little from the hub worked in my case. If you have any suggestions on how to do it more easily than how I did it, let me know in the comments. If this video helped you out, don't forget to help me out by leaving a like and hyping the video. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ay, ay, ay.